Good evening, everyone. We will begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for the permission and protection granted while participating today in God's divine plan of constructing paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito Prayer of Heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. 高天原にかむずまりますかむろぎかむろみのみごともちてそめみおやかむいざなぎのみことをつくしのいむかのたちはなのごどのぎはらにみそぎはらいたもうときになりませる。はらいどのおかみたちもろもろのまがごとつみけがれを。はらいたまえ清めたまえとまおすことのよしを。天つかみ国つかみやおよろずの神たちともに雨のふちこまの耳振り立ててきこしめせとかしこみもまおす。弥勒大神守りたまえ先はえたまえ弥勒大神守りたまえ先はえたまえ教えみよや主の神、守りたまえ、先はえたまえ。教えみよや主の神、守りたまえ、先はえたまえ。くんながらたまちはえませ。くんながらたまちはえませ。Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective in your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
May God and Meishu-sama bless you.
It is now concluded. Let us now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teaching. Illness. Those of you serving in God's work should understand that clouds on the spiritual body are the cause of illness. Try your best to purify it. Through my illness, I was led to this divine work. I became a humble instrument in God's plan. How lucky I am. We are given life, priceless life, to serve God's cause. We may sometimes wonder, then, why we are afflicted with illness and woe. Human beings are born into the physical realm with the mission of establishing an ideal world. This is God's plan. So when we function in harmony with the plan, we can live and work most happily in perfect health. This is an eternal, immutable truth. However, no individual is free from the spiritual clouds that are passed from generation to generation. In addition, due to the ignorance of truth, people indiscriminately introduce harmful substances into their bodies. As a result, they sometimes become more susceptible to illness, contrary to expectations. However, it would be deterrent to the furthering of God's plan if his workers were unable to continue to serve due to illness. It is natural then that he would help these individuals and restore them to health. So they need have no undue anxiety.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association headquarters evening service. Thank you also for directing your prayers along with us for world peace. This evening, I want to share with you the experience of Ana Cristina Oliveira Azevedo. She's from Manaus, Brazil. Before the pandemic, Ana Cristina dedicated every Monday and Wednesday morning at the Johrei Center. Has been married for 30 years, has two children with her current husband and an eldest son from the first husband, who died in 1993 when they were already separated. In February of 2020, her eldest son and his stepfather clashed, and her husband decided to leave the house. It was a very unpleasant environment, and the two did not speak and could not see each other as they end up fighting. There was also a lot of friction between her and other children. The atmosphere at home was also very troubled. The situation left her very discouraged, and with the mandated social isolation, she did not have the strength to carry out our practices of faith at home. In talking with her minister, he advised her to channel Johrei daily to her children to herself, study Meishu-sama's teachings daily, and attend our online services. She endeavored to carry out the suggested practices as well as to offer monthly donations of gratitude. This way, she felt strengthened, and little by little, the interaction between her children became harmonized. During the same period, her minister suggested that she ensures that the enshrinement of her ancestors, Sorei Saishi, were up to date. At this point, she realized that she had never requested memorial services for the deceased father of her first child. She immediately contacted Sorei Saishi department volunteer and requested the enshrinement of his spirit while materializing a special gratitude offering. After that, little by little, her husband got closer and came back home. Ana Cristina began to channel Johrei to him every day. Her husband and eldest son reconciled, and everything became harmonious once again. Her husband and youngest son were members and were blessed to receive the sacred focal point of Hikari in July of 2020. Currently, her eldest son lives in another home with his wife and son, but he visits Ana Cristina's family whenever possible. The family atmosphere now is excellent. From this experience, she learned the importance of praying for the ancestors and maintaining our practice of faith at home. Ana Cristina is very grateful to God and Meishu-sama for her learning and for allowing her to restore harmony in her family. Thank you very much for attending this evening service, for listening to this faith experience. Wish you a most wonderful weekend. Thank you.
This brings to a conclusion our evening service. Thank you everyone for joining us. We wish you a very blessed evening.